Fish slime, Howard said, but he was a visitor, and rather crude, too, and we instantly regretted that we had lent him a sleeping bag, and took it away from him, and took away his bowl, too, and the chicks that were in it, and the milk on top of the chicks, and his spoon and napkin and chair, and began pelting him with boxes, to indicate that his welcome had been used up. We soon got rid of him. But the problem remained. What words were those? "Now we have been left sucking the mop again," Kevin said. But Kevin is easily discouraged. "Injunctions," Bill said. And when he said that, we were glad he was still our leader, although some of us had been wondering about him lately. "Murder and create," Henry said, and that was weak, but we applauded, and Snow White said, "That is one I've never heard before, ever." And that gave us courage, and we all began to say things that were more or less satisfactory or at least adequate to serve the purpose for the time being. The whole thing was papered over, for the time being, and didn't break out into the open. If it had broken out into the open, then we would really have been left sucking the mop, in a big way, that Monday. Then we went out to wash the buildings. Clean buildings fill your eyes with sunlight, and your heart with the idea that man is perfectible. Also, they are good places to look at girls from. Those high, swaying wooden platforms. You get a rare view, gazing at the tops of their red and gold and plum-colored heads. Viewed from above, they are like targets. The plum-colored head the center of the target, the wavy navy skirt the bold circumference. The white or black legs flopping out in front are like someone waving his arms over the top of the target and calling, "You missed the center by not allowing sufficiently for the wind." We are very much tempted to shoot our arrows into them, those targets. You know what that means. But we also pay attention to the buildings, gray and noble in their false architecture and cladding. There are tiparillos in our faces and heavy jangling belts around our waists, and water in our buckets and squeegees on our poles. And we have our beer bottles up there too, and drink beer for a second breakfast, even though that is against the law, but we are so high up no one can be sure. It's too bad Hago de Bergerac isn't up here with us, because maybe the experience would be good for him, would make him less loathsome. But he would probably just seize the occasion to perform some new loathsome act. He would probably just throw beer cans down into the street, to make irritating lumps under the feet of those girls who, right this minute, are trying to find the right typewriter in the correct building. Now she's written a dirty, great poem 4 pages long. Won't let us read it, refuses absolutely, she is adamant. We discovered it by accident. We had trudged home early, lingered in the vestibule for a bit, wondering if we should trudge inside. A strange prehension, a boding of some kind. Then we trudged inside. "Here's the mail," we said. She was writing something, we could see that. "Here's the mail," we said again. Usually she likes to paw over the mail, but she was preoccupied, didn't look up, not a flicker. "What are you doing there?" we asked. "Writing something?" Snow White looked up. "Yes," she said, and looked down again, not a pinch of emotion coloring the jet black of her jet black eyes. "A letter?" we asked, wondering if a letter then to whom and about what. "No," she said. "A list?" we asked, inspecting her white face for a hint of tendresse. But there was no tendresse. "No," she said. We noticed then that she had switched the tulips from the green bowl to the blue bowl. "What then?" we asked. We noticed that she had shifted the lilies from the escritoire to the chiffonier. "What then?" we repeated. We observed that she had hauled the Indian paintbrush all the way out into the kitchen. "Poem," she said. We had the mail in our paws still. "Poem?" we said. Poem, she said.